On everyone, Charlie here. We're going to talk about bulls, bears, and sheep. That's right, sheep. You've heard of the bulls and the bears, right? It's a very famous market term. Where did it come from? That's what we're going to learn in this video. And we're going to see about maybe adapting this philosophy, considering this was coined in 1772, before America was even a country. Let's go ahead and take a look. So this is the general mindset of the market. You enter in. You're either a bull or a bear. You're bullish on a stock, you're bearish on a stock. You may be bullish on one stock, you may be bearish on a completely different stock, but basically bulls versus the bears, right? That's the going narrative anyway. So the person in the middle is you, the investor, and you're always in a constant battle between bulls versus bears. Which mindset are you going to have? Bulls obviously want the market to go up. They want to make profit off of prices going up. Bears, the exact opposite. They want to make money off of prices going down, or bear markets. Basically, in a nutshell, that's what bears are and what bulls are. Now, as far as where this term came from is a completely different story. So, Thomas Mortimer. Let's talk about him. Every man is his own broker, or A Guide to the Stock Exchange, is a book on economics by Thomas Mortimer, published in 1761 and enjoying 14 editions over the next 4 decades. It is most famous for being the first documented use of the stock market terms bull and bear, and is considered one of the first books on guides to stock trading. So right here, the title, Every Man His Own Broker, or A Guide to Exchange Alley, in which the nature of federal funds, vulgarly called the stocks, is clearly explained, and accurate computations are formed of the average value of East India stock for several years from the current year. The mystery and iniquity of stock jobbing is laid before the public in a new and impartial light. The method of transferring stock and of buying and felling the several government securities without the affiliate of a broker is made intelligible to, this is hard to read, sorry, this is written like 1700, to the men something capacity, and an account is given of the laws in force relative to brokers, clerks at the bank, etc., with directions how to avoid the lofts that are frequently sustained by the destruction of bank notes, India bonds, by fire, and other accidents. So basically, this is to vilify brokers back in the day, which is what this book is leading on about as far as the title here. That's what stock jobber is. Back in this time, a stock jobber was considered a stockbroker. So, this is an excerpt from the book. An act for the better preventing of the infamous practice of stock jobbing, by which the most palpable and glaring frauds then in vogue were indeed suppressed, the bubbles burst, and the racehorses of Exchange Alley expired with the date of that act. But bulls and bears still exist in full vigor. So that's the first time we hear this phrase, bulls and bears. Doesn't really explain it, but it's interesting, because if we look at this excerpt, and by the way, here's a definition of stock jobber, and here is a definition of the word chicanery, which is a noun. It's the use of trickery to achieve a political, financial, or legal purpose. With this laudable view, the scenes of chicanery, duplicity, and fraud exhibited at Jonathan's Coffee House in Exchange Alley, the then useful Wren, devourers of stock jobbers, were painted from the first in true and lively colors. In the present edition, they are retouched, and some new finances of deceit are introduced. The scene only is since changed, the brokers having built a room, by subscription, opposite the bank, and they called it the Stock Exchange, in which they now assemble to transact their business. Crazy, right? So basically, he's just kind of shitting on brokers, how they formed the stock exchange, which was opposite the banks to conduct their business, which basically was the beginning of the indoctrination. So what is the meaning of all this? Why am I making this video? Because you want to be the membrane. You want to be a bull and a bear whenever the opportunity presents itself. Bulls and bears is a narrative that Wall Street created to get you in a particular mindset from the get-go. Because think about it, if everyone is only on one side of the coin, then they can play both sides a lot easier. That's the point of this video. If you're a bull, you're doing it wrong. If you're a bear, you're doing it wrong. If you just have to go with the coin term, congratulations, you're using a term that was coined before the country even existed. It's time to adapt. We are smarter than this. The media wants you to be a bull or a bear. That's how they group you. Don't let them group you. Be your own individual. Be an investor.